It's been a long-standing tradition in RPGs to have an optional or hidden boss in the game that is of remarkable difficulty, a true challenge to test if the player has truly mastered the mechanics and fine points of the game. Usually, these optional bosses can be as difficult, if not more difficult, than the game's final boss, which is definitely, I think, the case in Fear and Hunger 2. The Heartless One is probably the toughest challenge found in Fear and Hunger 1 and 2. Let me know if you disagree in the comments. In my experience, the only other boss fight that gave me anywhere near as much trouble as the Heartless One was fighting the traces of Gorgoroth in Ending B of Fear and Hunger 1. But, fortunately, similar strategies worked in both cases. The Heartless One is a hidden boss that most players will not encounter on a regular playthrough. To summon her, the player will have to enter the Church of Ulmer through the Foundations of Decay, preventing the chandelier from crashing down into the basement. This way, the player will still be able to get the Rusty Key, which is needed to get the item to summon the Heartless One. Using chalk to draw a sigil to rare on one of the ritual circles in the Church of Ulmer would lead you to an otherworldly area where you can use the church key to access a cell where you'll find someone completely covered in chains, kept in place by a heart-shaped lock. Using the rusty key will free this person, after which they will promptly disappear, leaving only the heart-shaped lock behind. With the heart-shaped lock, you can summon her from an imperfect ritual circle. Once summoned, she challenges the player to a one-on-one duel. So this is the first major challenge against the Heartless One. You'll have to fight her alone, without the help, additional damage, and attacks from having a full party on your side. The Heartless One makes her appearance. She will rise out of the formed pool of blood. She appears as a horned woman with long white hair, wearing a black form-fitting bodysuit. In one hand, she is holding the sword, the Red Virtue, and in her other hand, she holds a trident that she uses to cast a blinding magical attack on the player. After a couple of turns, she'll sprout wings that she can also use to attack you with the Feather Rain attack. The duel with the Heartless One is a brutal and unrelenting battle, to the point that it is difficult to even survive her opening attack. Surviving even one turn will take planning and preparation, since she will unleash a multi-attack barrage every turn. Each turn, she will attack in the following pattern. First, a soul strike attack from her sword, the Red Virtue, striking twice, and having a chance to dismember. The second attack will be a Pillar of Light casted from her trident. The Pillar of Light attack has a chance of inflicting the light sensitivity status effect on you, which will lower the player's attack hit rate, making landing physical damage more difficult. After both of these initial attacks, she'll make a comment about testing how tough you really are, and then she'll unleash her Blood Rose Assault attack on you, which attacks for 4 hits. If the Blood Rose Assault attack connects and manages to damage you, the spilled blood from the attack will attract the Blood Rose Vines, which will grab the player, decreasing agility and causing even more damage. After a few turns, she will spread her wings, and she will gain an additional attack similar to the one Perkele uses in Ending B, attacking the player with a rain of feathers. So each turn, the Heartless One will hit with 4 or 5 attacks, and some of those attacks will hit multiple times. The combination of these attacks can very easily drain the player's entire health bar in just one turn. On top of the raw damage, each turn she'll have a chance to inflict light sensitivity, dismember the player, inflict the bleed status, and also lower your agility, possibly taking away your extra turn. In order to prevail against her, the player will have to counter or negate all of these effects, meaning that the fight will take extensive and specific preparation and gear. First, in order to prevent dismemberment, you'll want some gear to protect your limbs, like the Salmon Snake Ruin or the Fluted Armor. The Salmon Snake Ruin is a random drop, so there's luck involved in getting it. The Fluted Armor can be pieced together from parts collected from the museum and the mayor's mansion, but at the cost of lowering agility. The light sensitivity status can be offset by relying on magical attacks or using items and status effects. Also, wearing eyeglasses can help offset the loss of accuracy. One thing I found vital in winning the fight against the Heartless One is having 2 actions per turn, meaning having 16 agility or more, which can be a challenge since the fluted armor and the blood rose vines will both lower your agility. So you'll have to buff your agility a lot to offset both of these effects using the pep pills, the engrave skill, and the small things amulet. I recommend having at least 21 agility going into the fight, so that when lowered, it comes down to 16 agility, preserving having 2 actions per turn. In the footage I used for this video, I beat the Heartless One using Marina. I experimented with the Spice Forge to see what would be the best spell to autocast as soon as the fight started. The Spice Forge has a very powerful ability allowing you to autocast one spell as soon as the combat encounter starts. First, I tried the Black Smog, but it wouldn't deal significant damage nor blind her. Black Orb and Hurting would attack a random limb, but it wouldn't deal any game-changing damage. Eventually, I settled on using the Blood Golem spell to start the fight, since he could act as a decoy for the Heartless One. During the fight, what I found worked was to use your first turn to guard. This will mitigate some of the damage from her barrage of attacks, and then take an action on your second turn, assuming that you're not healing. As you can see from the footage, I tried over and over again, but I wasn't able to output enough damage to make any significant progress before the Heartless One took me out. But that all changed when I finally got Olivia's toxicology skill and picked up some hemlock, which was a game changer. The rumors are true. The condensed hemlock is nearly broken. For example, here is some footage of Marina soloing the King in Yellow in a couple of turns using the hemlock. So in the end, what worked for me and the Marina build I was using on this run was to first auto-summon the Blood Golem at the start of the fight, and then use Guard as your first action. Hopefully, you don't take too much damage, and on your second action, you can use a condensed hemlock on her torso. The Heartless One does have a large HP pool, but the damage the condensed hemlock does is ridiculous. Once you used the condensed hemlock on her, all you have to do is survive and let the poison do its work. On the next turn, guard for your first action and then heal on the second. Keep repeating this until the Heartless One has taken enough damage to her torso and the fight should be done in a few turns. Once she has taken enough damage, only her injured torso will remain, at which point you can continue attacking, guarding, and healing for a few more turns, and then before long, the fight should be over. Upon defeat, the Heartless One will vanish before you. She'll drop the Red Virtue, a high damage sword that attacks twice per turn, and the Darkness, a high defense armor that also increases your agility. Both of these pieces of gear are fantastic and will make the rest of the run a lot easier. The name and design of the Heartless One are in homage to Fear and Hunger content creator, beta tester, and community member Heartless Angel Ketsueki. The visual design of the Heartless One appears to, at least in part, be inspired by the character the Angel of Hope from Magic the Gathering, wearing a black bodysuit that's very similar to the Heartless One and also wielding a very similar looking trident. So that is my advice and tips that I hope makes taking on the Heartless One a little bit easier. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this type of content. Have you had any luck beating the Heartless One? What worked for you? Do you have any better strategies? And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. Thank you very much to all the members of my channel. I really appreciate your support. It does help a lot in helping me continue to make content. Thank you very much. Take care and later.